lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP.
Please, I came across this video on my For You, and I thought to share where there is a leak conversation between Mitch and McCarthy concerning how they plan to bring back slavery. This actually got the whole social platform reacting, and I was like, what is happening? Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, why not just, listen, be vigilant, careful, and let's dive into it.
Transcripts. Mitch, we have to bring slavery back. Those were the good old days. Kevin, how will we do that? There's no way we can do that. Mitch, black people won't do it, but white people will. Kevin, how will we get white people to be slaves? That sounds ridiculous. Mitch, we have to get rid of the separation of church and state. We must have state-funded religious schools. Kevin, I don't see where you're getting at. Mitch, those schools will have work programs for 4th through 8th graders. Kevin, I think I see where you're going here. How is that going to work? Mitch, we get the kids to pick all the produce as a part of their work program to teach them the values of good old-fashioned blue-collar labor and the bounty of God. Kevin, I don't think that anyone will go for that. Mitch, it's all about grooming. Start in the 1st grade, and by 4th grade, they'll be ready to do it. Kevin, but we already have people to pick the produce. Mitch, we have to finish the wall. Kevin, no way that's going to happen. Mitch, we find better ways to get the immigrants out of the United States. Kevin, like doubling ICE. Mitch, yes. Kevin, this will be too hard, and we'll be too busy trying to sustain this over long periods of time and generations. Mitch, no, we get rid of the abortion laws in the United States and we make it mandatory that all 8th grade females be impregnated in order to graduate. Kevin, like replacing the crops. Ha ha ha, pun intended. Also, Kevin, I will work on getting the abortion banned. You work on state-funded religious schools. Mitch, we don't have to do either. Lindsay and I took care of that with the new SCOTUS.
You know what another thing is? And I hadn't really realized it till just recently. Because in my mind, slavery is something in the past. Like we've learned our lesson and moved on. And I just realized that there's people today that really do want to bring it back. And that's just crazy to me. It's insane. And they're running our government.
Welcome to today's Qualified at the Intersection. So I want to talk about something, and move myself a little bit here. My mother, when she was alive, she said that Donald Trump wants to send us back into the field. And she said that based upon things she heard him say. I remember watching when he ran the first time a rally in Minnesota. And he was talking about how everybody there looks so great because of the racehorse theory. He said this out loud. Now, the racehorse theory is a Nazi theory of white racial purity. And he talked like this all the time during the first administration. And my mother had this feeling that Donald Trump was going to find some kind of way to functionally re-enslave black people. So she would not be surprised to hear the Secretary of Agriculture today say that they want to violate the 13th Amendment. They believe that Medicaid recipients could replace immigrant labor, illegal immigrant labor, in the fields in the meat processing plants, gardeners, babysitters, and who do you think, which Medicaid recipients do you think would bear the brunt of that type of work? Now, Black people only account for 20% of Medicaid recipients. White people account for 40% of Medicaid recipients. But there are some context clues that tell us who they are thinking about for those jobs in the fields. So anytime Donald Trump talks about certain types of work that immigrant labor currently does, he calls it Black jobs. These are jobs you're taking from Black people. The idea being that Black people are the only people, not poor white people. You know, he never says poor white people or working white people who need jobs. It's only Black people. He identifies with jobs that include picking fruits and vegetables, working in meat processing, working as gardeners. And there is nothing wrong with those jobs. They are honorable jobs. Black people have walked that road. We have been the gardeners, the unpaid slave labor, the carers of your children. We have done all those jobs. We're not above those jobs. But there is something about the way he only identifies those as Black jobs. So using our context clues, when we put the Department of Agriculture secretary saying that Medicaid recipients can do those jobs, voila, my mother's prophecies come true. You have found a way to legally re-enslave Black folks, to force them back into what he clearly believes is the only place we should be. Now, when Donald Trump talks about Black jobs, he never says Black people who need a job or poor people. He envisions a world where PhDs are picking fruit, where MBAs are picking fruit. That's how he sees us. And you can tell we are in the middle of an end run. So on this side, we're not qualified. DEI hires. Stephen Miller's legal group is trying to basically bring lawsuits to force Black people out of professional spaces. Donald Trump is trying to use DEI to reinstate incompetent white men like Pete Hegseth and everybody in his administration into jobs of authority and move Black people out. So if Black people end up unemployed, the unemployment numbers. So when I started writing my book, Qualified, 2 years ago, the unemployment rate for Black women was 4.7% or something like that. It is now 6.1%. It is an alarming rise in unemployment for Black women, which is driving the overall Black unemployment rate up substantially. So this is part of a full-scale project, and it's happening in real time. And I think because it's happening in a piece here and a piece here and a piece here, people are not as alarmed as my mother was, alarmed as we all should be. When the Secretary of Agriculture twists her mouth to say this, a woman, by the way, the bitter, bitter pill Black people have to swallow is that this woman, this white woman, has this job only because we fought and died for her civil rights that became women's rights, that jumped over us in opportunities for affirmative action and jobs and everything else, that she stands there to say, you need to go back to the fields if you want medical care. So there's a plan. We have to now just simply acknowledge that the plan is to push us out of professional spaces, put us out of work in ways that there is no recourse. And for those who are saying, well, you can start your own business, well, with what capital, what money? Because they are defunding minority business, enterprise, loan funds, all other types of things, and trying to declare illegal any attempts we might have to pool our money together and provide funding for each other, as they did with the Fearless Fund. So we are being hemmed up and don't know it. It's like those the velociraptors in Jurassic Park. We got one over here and we're not tracking the one over here. And so what this woman said today is not out of the realm of possibility. That's not just talk. And the way this Supreme Court is shaping up to be a Plessy court, that would be the court that brought in Jim Crow, it's altogether possible that they would not find this type of forced labor in violation of the 13th Amendment. They might say, well, it's for wages and it's for health care, thus completing my mother's prophecy with their desire to find a way to legally re-enslave Black people for manual labor. And this would happen to you if you were unemployed with a PhD, with an MBA. They would decide through their contracting partners, who make millions of dollars, by the way, placing people in bullshit jobs, they will decide what type of job you take. And if they decide that they need that labor in the fields or in the chicken factory or as gardeners or I guess as babysitters for white folks, then that's where you will be employed. That's what they mean to do. And they're not even trying to hide this. This past 4th of July, I was at some folks' house. There was a bunch of middle-aged Black folks and some white folks and people together. And I thought to myself, everybody here does not know how much danger they are in. That's what I remember thinking. No one here knows how much danger we are in, that this place, this loveliness of home, all these people with these jobs, they don't know how tenuous. We are on the head of a needle right now about our ability to live in this world as free people and not glorified slaves through in run around the 13th Amendment that, again, the Supreme Court would most likely, given their track record thus far, uphold. What would we do? What would we do? I think it is time that folks get ready and try to figure out what it means to fight back. We have to fight back furiously. And I do not think that our institutions, be they the NAACP or Urban League or any of our institutions, have taken this true level of threat seriously. We need better targeted litigation. We need to, while we still have dollars, we need to shut this shit down. We need to find a way to swarm our dollars, to shut things down. Right? We have to exercise the power while we still have it, because they are quickly moving to separate us from our jobs, thereby separating us from our income. And, because of racism, Black people generally do not have historical wealth, which means they cannot withstand long-term periods of unemployment and then would be subject to the work requirements they create, whatever they might be, from the field to the factory, for unemployment. And so we are in a tenuous position that the people are speaking out loud. And so, again, people will say, well, 40% of the people on Medicaid are white. They somehow, I just don't think they're going to be the first group. Something tells me that 80 to 90% of the people they would send to the fields would be the 20% of Black people who are on that program. And again, they would intend to expand that to unemployment in other areas. Believe people when they tell you who they are the first time. And, this presidency, this vote, I cannot forgive people who quibbled over Kamala Harris. I have no patience for you. I have none. I have no sympathy. I have no quarter for people who said, oh, both parties are all the same. I have nothing for you, because, the old folks used to say a hard head makes a soft ass. And some people are about to land on their soft ass. And so this is not the most upbeat newsletter today, but when you have the Department of Secretary the Secretary of Department of Agriculture saying Medicaid recipients can go work in the fields, then we're there. It's time for some straight talk.
In the case of good, reputable farmers, they can take responsibility for the people that they hire and let them have responsibility, because we can't put the farms out of business.
You can stay in this country, but only if a rich white man says you're useful to him. We've done this before. It was called the Bracero program, and it exploited millions of Mexican workers. Before that, it was called indentured servitude. Before that, slavery. Trump's plan lets undocumented workers stay, but only if a farmer signs off on them. If not, deported. The farmer messes up, deportation. No rights, no protection, just a leash.
We've had people that have worked on farms for 20 years. It's very hard to go in there and say, you're coming out. But we're going to let the farmers take responsibility. They're great people. They'll do it. They know the good and the bad.
He's not praising them, he's objectifying them. He likes that they work hard and stay quiet. Workers tied to one boss, no freedom to leave, and no pathway to citizenship. A terrified labor force, completely dependent on their employers who profit off of them. He's not fixing anything. He's codifying exploitation. This is about power, control, cheap labor. If you're okay with this, you're okay with slavery.
Trump just said they're going to take the immigrants that they round up and give them to the farmers. And the farmers will be responsible for the immigrants. And they'll be given things and they'll be allowed to pay taxes. They just won't be given citizenship. But all the farmers will be in charge of the immigrants. That's indentured servitude. That's literally slavery. Trump is rounding up immigrants so that he can have them work the farms, but have the farmers have total power over the immigrants. He said this on his tour of Alligator Auschwitz. And what the living shit? He's bringing back slavery, guys. He's bringing back slavery.
Like, seriously, lovelies. This is actually not new. Like, I think this is something that is being expected. Coupled with the fact that there are so many things that have been happening right now, so many changes, and the level at which these Ray and cis people are now, being so vocal, now showing their real color, their real self, and trying to tell you that, okay, this is the kind of person that we are. We are here to take over again. This particular conversation has been circulating all over the social platform, and I try as much as I can to actually get the original, but I think something really happened on the way. And I'll be very pleased if someone actually allowed me to get me to see the original. But this is exactly the particular thing I've been hearing and seeing on the social platform, and people have been, sharing it to people that looks like me and black people all over the world, in order for them to be very vigilant, in order for them to be very careful, in order for them to be aware of what is going on. Like, all of a sudden, you see so many people talking about, so many racist people standing up. All of a sudden, alligator caricatures have surfaced. All of a sudden, immigrants, even if you don't want to go back, you can stay back, and the farmers or the owners of the farm are going to own you for life. You're just going to be working and not getting anything in return. Like, are you seeing this strategy that is being used? That is why I said that this conversation is not even new. It's already happening. It's as if it's happening, but it's strategically happening. It's happening strategically, right? Okay. But the thing is that even when the truth is in front of people, they'll just look for a way. Nobody's praying for all of these things, but it's just a way to be very, very, very cautious, careful, know your surroundings, and try to Know the people you share things with. Because at the end of the day, most of the happenings right now is giving, oh my God, we want to oppress so much. I think they started with this undocumented immigrant. From there, Project 2025 is coming up, is being implemented one way or the other. SNAP benefit being cut off. Everything is just, oh my God, it's just going wow. Wait. And now this conversation. I was on someone's live yesterday. One of my favorite TikToker, Thomas, the Valiant, and no, not yesterday, one time ago, and he was like, there are so many people who are just craving for this enslavement to come back again. Like there are so many Rayansis that are so jealous of their ancestors. They are jealous in the sense that their ancestors were able to witness owning someone, acquiring someone as a property. They missed that. They missed all of that. So that is why most of them, you see them out now. Somebody came out to talk about how they are the real indigenous people. They are the real indigenous people. Someone can even come out and use racial slurs on live TV and nothing's going to happen. Now they are building some cage, making people to eat like dogs in most of all these detention centers. There are so many happenings right now, lovelies. So many that couldn't have happened, but everything now is being paved way for Ray and cis people to come up. But now there is a white only town in building. I think I stitched the video before this or after this. There is a white only town that you as a black person is not expected to be seen there. What does this tell you? It's as if instead of 2025, we are back in 1620 or 1902 or even 1000. It's as if the world was moving forward before, then all of a sudden, the world has rewind backward. Oh my goodness, lovelies. I can't even take this anymore. It's getting tougher each and every passing day, and all I wish you only hope for is for the best. But first of all, we should learn how to be our brothers and sisters keeper. Enough of this diaspora or abuse, disagreement, and all of that. If they're gonna imprison or enslave people that looks like me, that will really affect every other black person. Be you European black, American black, African black, or any black in the continent of this world, huh? Or in the whole world. If slavery is going to go back, you think they were just going to enslave some people and leave? They're going to enslave every person looking like me. And that's how it has always been, right? Anyways, lovelies, wanna just leave me your own thought in the comment section for you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, if you've not subscribed, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button. Like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.
If you think of this video, please subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. Like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.